All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going totally practical. We're going to walk through step by step how you can set up a Scrum project for one of those massive, complicated group assessments. You know the ones. If you've ever felt completely swamped by a group project, trust me, this is for you. I mean, let's be real. We've all lived this nightmare, haven't we? You've got a dozen people on an email chain, attachments flying everywhere with names like final report underscore V4 underscore actually final, I swear. It is absolute total chaos, and that is the exact problem we're here to solve today. So, the heart of the problem is this. Big, complex projects, especially in a university or college setting, can just completely fall apart if they don't have some kind of system. I mean, without that structure, how do you even know who's doing what? How can you tell if you're on track to hit your deadline? And maybe most importantly, how does everyone stay on the same page about what you're even supposed to be building? It's just a recipe for disaster, missed deadlines, and a ton of stress nobody needs. So what's the fix? Well, it's a framework called Scrum, and it's honestly a beautiful solution that's designed specifically to bring order to this kind of chaos, especially when you're working in smaller teams. The main idea behind Scrum is actually pretty simple, but it is so powerful. It takes this huge, scary-looking project and just chops it up into smaller, bite-sized pieces. And that simple act makes the whole thing feel so much less overwhelming and way more doable, right from the very beginning. Now, the engine that really makes Scrum work is something called a sprint. Think of it as a short, super focused burst of work that has a hard deadline. This forces you to make constant progress. You're always delivering something small and finished, which is absolutely key for building momentum and keeping morale high. Now, to pull this off, you do need the right tools. Think of Jira as your project's command center. It's where you track all the tasks and see your progress. And Confluence, that's your library. It's the home for all your documents, meeting notes, and project requirements. When you use them together, they create a single source of truth, which completely gets rid of that email chaos we were talking about earlier. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and walk through the actual setup. This is how you're going to build that command center for your project and get your whole team pointed in the same direction. So here's the game plan. It's a really simple 4-step process. Now, step 1, actually creating the project space in Jira and Confluence, that's pretty straightforward. We're going to focus on the really critical parts, getting everyone on board, figuring out your first couple of tasks, and then hitting go on that first sprint. Let's kick things off with inviting the team. Now, this step is so important. Invite everyone. I'm not just talking about your group members. Invite your tutors too. Why? Because you want total, radical transparency. When everyone can see what's going on, the progress and the problems, you can solve those problems so much faster. Nothing gets hidden away until it's a massive crisis right before the deadline. All right, time to create your first real piece of work. Make a task and call it something like Identify Game Requirements. Now, this isn't just some random to-do item. It's a foundational step that creates clarity and makes sure everyone knows what they're responsible for. Okay, so here's where it gets really clever. The task is for each person to figure out their specific part of the project and take a guess at how long it'll take. But the real magic trick is this. You attach a dedicated Confluence page to this task. That page becomes the one and only place where all the requirements live. No more confusion, no more, I thought we were building this. It's all right there. Your second task is all about creating a consistent rhythm for communication. It's super simple. Just create a reoccurring task for your weekly team meeting. And yep, you guessed it. Just like with the requirements, you're going to attach a Confluence page to this meeting task. This page is where you'll jot down your meeting minutes, any decisions you make, and what everyone needs to do next. What you're building is a living, searchable history of your project. It is an absolute lifesaver. So now you've got 2 clearly defined tasks. The next move is to bundle them together into a single package of work. That package, that is the official commitment for your very first sprint. It's what you as a team are promising to get done. So, how long should this sprint be? Well, 1 week is a fantastic place to start. It's just enough time to get some real work done, but it's short enough that you get feedback super fast. If your time estimates were totally off, you'll find out in 7 days, not 2 months later when it's too late to fix. Okay, so you've done all the setup. Now for the best part, the payoff. This is the moment where you really see that project chaos transform into crystal clear clarity. The single biggest win here is that you can actually visualize your work. All of a sudden, those tasks and deadlines that were just abstract ideas in your head become a real, concrete picture that the entire team shares. And this is what that looks like, your sprint board. It's so simple, right? You've got your columns for to do, in progress, and done. In a single glance, anyone, your teammates, your tutor, can see the exact status of the project. It is simple, it's powerful, and it keeps everybody perfectly in sync. And most of these tools have even more ways to look at your project. You can often switch over to a roadmap or a chart view, which is great for seeing the bigger picture and how all the pieces are going to fit together over the next few weeks. And that right there is the whole point. This is the transformation. You've taken what felt like this impossibly huge assessment, and you've broken it down into a series of small, trackable, and most importantly, achievable steps. You're not just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best anymore. You are actively managing your way to success. So that kind of brings us to a final thought. This whole approach, creating a central source of truth, to finding super clear tasks, working in these short, focused cycles, it is an incredibly powerful system. So the real question to leave you with is this. How could you take these ideas and apply them not just to a school project, but to other complicated things you're trying to manage in your job or even in your personal life? You'd be surprised how versatile it is.